Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of PLU. Louise and I decided we were going to do one just before January. We had originally taken the whole month off here just to get ready for Christmas, and we decided we wanted to do a special one because tomorrow is the solstice. So it's not going to be as long as normal, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. We tend to get talking, and then who knows what happens. But yes, it's to just basically talk about New Year's, how people set intentions with resolutions that can sometimes be limiting in the long run, and what we do for little ceremonial things for us to celebrate and get ready for the incoming New Year. So hello, Miss Louise.
Hello, P. How are you doing?
Good, hon. How you been?
I've been good. We don't see each other a lot right now.
We don't. For anyone still watching, you would know that depending on, I guess, what time you're watching, but since you're still in 2020, you know it's because of COVID. So there's still the limitation that you can't see as many people as you want. But on the plus side, we do have screen chatting. So that's kind of similar, eh? In a weird way, I guess. So
yeah, that's what I tell people. I tell people try to stay connected via chat, video chat, or pick up the phone. Yeah. You know, we will start texting, you and I, and all of a sudden the conversation, and one of us calls, we video chat, going, enough with the texting. Let's just talk.
Well, sometimes when it's a big story, honey.
Yes.
All right.
A big share.
Yes, well, let's jump in for the lovely people listening and tuning in. So thank you again if you are tuning in. And I believe this is what, episode 7, isn't it?
7. Lucky number 7.
Oh, lucky number 7. What a way to end the new year. Huzzah. Beautiful. So yes, let's just start with solstice. I think let's pick a topic because I think we're got a few things to go back and forth with. So for those who don't know, it is the winter solstice or Yule. For those in the pagan traditions or the pagan religions. Oh, are you there, Lou? It looks like you froze, hon.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. We're having some technical difficulties this morning, so hopefully it's not going to affect the video in any way. Yes, so going back again, so it's the solstice. So Yule for those that celebrate the pagan traditions or the traditional holidays, if you don't happen to be Christian or you celebrate all of them. So basically what the solstice is, it's the longest night of the year. So it is when the light is starting to return, when the shifting is changing. So it is when we are starting to go into winter, but then coming out the other end, saying that, you know, the darkness is sort of going to end soon and we're coming into spring. So it is sort of a time of renewal, rebirth, celebration. And that's traditionally too how the Yule trees, so Christmas trees, what we have, they were adopted by the Christian faith. But Yule trees, what they used to do is bring the tree inside from the forest, and that was to protect the spirit of the tree, and it would guard it inside the house for the winter to preserve it, and then you would return it back outside in the spring, and it would return back and bring the life back. And you would put the little candles on to celebrate and symbolize the light returning. So there's a whole bunch of different traditions and practices all kind of around Yule. So we'll just kind of cover the basic ones. But now I know you and I have discussed this before, Lou, because you know, a lot of people have a thing about the real trees, the fake trees. What is your take from an energetic perspective on the real tree versus a fake tree? Because myself, I like the fake trees because I go more from the symbolism, not necessarily the energetic pattern attached to it.
I'm the same way. I think as long as I can remember, we only had one real tree in our household when I was a little girl. And then after that, Mom, for some reason, I never asked her why, had fake trees. I remember one year she had sent coupons to Humpty Dumpty and she got one of those silvery trees from the 70s, right? And I'm still looking for one of those trees.
Yeah.
But for me personally, have I ever had a real tree? I think I had a real tree the first year Paul and I were married, and we had moved to this house that we are in now. And it's messy, first of all, and I wasn't into my practice then as much either. But after that, for convenience sake, I got artificial trees after that. But I've gone through, like I said, 7 foot to 6 foot to 5 foot. Yeah. And now I have a 4 foot tree. That's big enough for me, and it works. I mean, there are lots of beautiful tree lots in New Brunswick that people can go and tag their tree and see it grow and cut it when it's ready and everything. And that's a tradition that people have done for years. And that's perfectly fine. Me personally, I don't like going and getting a tree that, that it's how do you say it? It's important for us on this planet to, for the oxygen and the cleansing and all that.
Yeah.
So that's why on my property, I've planted more trees so that we have that energy of, I can't find my
connection, that nature spirit kind of thing like that.
Exactly. Just being surrounded by them makes me happy and it fills me up. Especially during this year where we've been asked to stay home. I think
too, for some people as well, going on the opposite side of that, because myself, I don't tend to try cut trees either. But on the opposite side of that, I know some people that work with the trees love the symbolism of having the real tree in the house because it gives them that feeling of that nature connection indoors when they're not able to get out for winter. Right. So again, it really is, we're not saying there's like a right way or a wrong way to celebrate, but the symbolism is that's the traditional, you're bringing the life in from the forest. So when it comes to religious practice, and Lou and I have explained this multiple times, it's not necessarily that it has to be so dogmatic that it's like you have to have a live tree or you're not abiding by the traditions or you're not doing this or, and a lot of people too, I know, especially for me where I do the medium side of thing in death and dying, a lot of people tend to use their trees as almost like memorials or like honorings where they'll have special decorations for the loved one that they put on the tree, and it includes them in the holiday celebrations. It makes sure that they're there, My sister who passed, we got all of her decorations. She loved Christmas. It was one of her favorite times of the year. And so we actually have a special lily tree that's just her tree kind of thing with her decorations. So there's a lot that goes into it, I think, for people. But basically the way that it works is when it comes to the solstice, and that's more from an energetic, perspective sort of thing, it is the shifting that we're coming out of one, shifting into another dynamic kind of thing. And I think that's what's really important, especially with this year where we've had so much happening this year. Now, energetically, we've had all the stuff happening with COVID. I mean, myself physically, I've had health stuff. I've moved a house twice. Like, this was a big, heavy year for me. And I mean, I know a lot of people have had like job stuff, financial stuff, like a whole bunch of triggers for people. But that's why I think sometimes it's really important to do a ceremony to honor and thank the year and to leave the year where it is, but not necessarily set a huge list of intentions of I've now got to achieve this with the next year. Otherwise, that year is a failure.
Right. I agree with you. Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. And a lot of people are setting their intentions, for 2021. Me personally, my practice is at every full moon. That's when I set an intention. So that intention is only for that month.
Yeah.
So I will set an intention for the full moon in January, and that intention will be, me seeing the intention unfold and manifest itself within that month, not look ahead to the end throughout the year. So I do little intentions,
that's great for people. That's actually a really good thing to sort of suggest to people. If you're overwhelmed by the big thing of what am I going to do, like to change my job or get a new job or move or whatever, you put out the little intention, like Lou's saying, over the course of the month. So maybe for January you go, I want to move, universe, bring me a sign or show me where I'm supposed to move next. Then the next month is universe, help me figure out when I'm supposed to sell this house to move. Universe, arrange the funding for me to move. Universe, help with the purging or whatever, the packing kind of thing. And that actually will help, not even from a mental space that you're not overwhelming yourself, but from an energetic space, because it's more realistic for people to manifest in smaller doses if they believe that, rather than this giant thing that they may not actually question or believe is possible, in which case it'll stop the intention from forming or manifesting.
Right. And for me also, when I put the intention, I see the end result.
Yeah.
I put the intention, but I see it completed. I feel it in my bones. I feel it. I feel it in my heart.
Now, I just want to jump back quick before we move on to sort of like New Year resolution. I want to ask you from a shamanic perspective, because this is kind of like more your focus. From a shamanic perspective, with the year like it's been for everybody with COVID, and there's a lot of global fear and all the things with politics and everything, there's been a very transition year. It's a very big shift year for the consciousness of humanity itself. From a shamanic perspective, would you do a ceremony for yourself to cut attachments or to release ties or to do something, and maybe explain to people a basic thing that they might be able to do for that if they're not sure or aware of what they could do, just as a way to almost like release some of the stuff from this year, but then sort of empty their energy a bit to be able to move into the next year with more energy available.
For me personally, with my practice, shamanic practice, I would journey to the lower world to meet my compassion animal spirit or my teacher and ask them. My intention would be, can you show me what ceremony I can do for myself to remove all these attachments of fear and, lack and whatever that my ego brain, was trying to process throughout the year. That's how I would do it. Now, there's another little ceremony that I was blessed enough to have read through one of the authors in the States, where they worked with Archangel Michael and asked Archangel Michael, if people are connected to the archangels, ask Archangel Michael to be present to cut all these ties, these unwanted feelings, attachments that have stayed within them throughout the year. And then when they feel that he's cut all those ties, they'll sense it, they'll sense their body sort of release, then I would ask Archangel Michael, could you please wash all the openings of where those attachments were? Send these attachments with light and love to anywhere on earth which is needed. These beautiful energies. So you're transfiguring these unwanted attachments and to send back to Mother Earth to be replenished and to be used, in a positive way. So that's one of them that I do also. So, but for me personally, I would ask my compassionate allies to show me a ceremony that I could do for myself to release all these negative energies from my body.
Nice. Now, for those people that have practiced shamanism before, maybe you've been to one of Louise's drum circles or something, what Lou means by journeying to the lower worlds in shamanism, I believe we've mentioned it in another one of the podcasts. There's the lower, middle, upper worlds in shamanism practice, and each of them has differing helping spirits in it. And you learn to go to each different one depending on what you're working through. And the lower levels in shamanism, or the lower worlds, are for more the physical attachments, the things like that, the fear stuff, where you can work through that. And again, Louise, I don't know, I know you were starting back to them, and I think this might not be up in time. And I know you were thinking of doing a drum circle for Solstice, but I know you do offer drum circles, and you were doing virtual ones. And
I am still doing virtual ones.
Yes, because people can find you if that is something you're interested in learning, and Lou does offer the training courses in that. But that is one way, but I think it's a great opportunity also to express that some people who may not be familiar, where Louise mentioned working with the angels, you could also go to your angels and same thing, say, angels, help me release this, like whatever's sticking me, whatever's holding me back kind of thing. Because I would always recommend, like Lou, make sure that you are doing some sort of thing for yourself to release the heavy stuff of the year, so you're not trying to take it into the next year. And that is something, and we go, even if you don't heal everything, more of an energetic release. So it's kind of like, it's sort of like if you get a cut, we go, make sure you wash your cut so it doesn't get infected. It doesn't mean the cut's gone, or the wound or whatever you happen to go through emotionally is gone, but it's at least clean and it's not going to fester there. You're aware of it, and you're moving into the new year with the new intention to work on that and let it heal. So that's more the thing that a lot of people, I think, set themselves up. And I don't want to say failure in a negative way, but almost set themselves up for a failure because they drag all of this fear forward with them from the previous year. And then they make this very, very big list for themselves of these New Year's resolutions. So I'm going to lose weight, but then they don't work on the emotional stuff, which is why they caused the weight in the first place. I'm going to find a loving partner, but then they still have the fear-based patterns around commitment. Like, there's a lot of stuff that, and then people believe that they failed or they've again done it. And then you go into the spiral again, that the year sucks again, and then you're stuck. And then the next year you're trying to do the resolution. So a lot of people tend to do that. And again, I always tell people the quickest way you can tell if your belief has changed is your physical reality shifts to match your belief at this time. So if you've set a New Year's resolution or intention and it's not working, just maybe go back and do something like a shamanic journey like Louise recommended, or like working with Archangel Michael. I know a lot of the people on your page and my page are very connected to angels as well. So working with a being like Archangel Michael, Raphael, any of the archangels that you're familiar with or comfortable with, or even your own personal guides, it's a great way to sort of balance the energy, at least to start. Then you can go start working on some of the other stuff and setting that intention.
Yes.
Now,
no, I agree. Now, Pete, when we started the conversation, you were talking it's the shortest day of the year. That means that we're going to have more dark.
Wait, is it the
we're going to have more darkness.
It's the longest one.
Shortest day, but longest night.
Longest night. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I was mixing myself up there. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's what I said. I remember. So for me, I remember it's like, usually it gets dark at 5 o'clock or whatever. Yeah. So we probably start getting darker before, around 4:30 or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole thing is sorry guys, I wasn't thinking. It's the longest day in the sense, but you've got 24 hours. The longest night. But after the long night, then it starts shifting again, and then the light's coming back. So that's right. What it was, like the rebirth of the night again. So right. Yes, if you heard that before, go by what we just said now.
And did you hear, like, I've been reading on Instagram, and some of my friends are really connected with the stars, and they said that tomorrow evening that
one of Christmas star.
The Christmas star. So, but the way I was reading it, it's because of the convergence of different planets.
Yeah. So I believe it's Jupiter and Mercury are coming together, and basically because they're lining up with each other, it's going to make it even brighter than normal. And so it's going to shine in the night sky like the Christmas star.
Oh, so, cool.
And it normally only happens something like every 200 years. Forgive me, I don't tend to. I haven't studied that side of it, but I know what you're talking about. But yes, it's because of the alignment that it shines brighter, and it only happens something like every 200 years or something. And this is one of the few times that is lining up at Christmas like this again to form the Christmas star.
Well, let's hope it's a clear sky, because it's supposed to be in the southwest. They're saying the south. If you look in the southwest direction, you should. If we have a clear sky, we should be able to see it. So yeah, something to look forward to.
I'll have to use my phone. I don't know directions well enough.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I have one of those star finders on my phone. You know those
so do I.
Yeah,
okay, good.
That can actually help. So yes, if you're watching this, we're hopefully going to get it up today. So if it's up today, Sunday. If not, it'll be Monday, but you can still see it Monday night. So if you do have one of those star finding things, you can also look for the Christmas star as well, which again, great intention. Also, if you work with star things.
Exactly. So that's good. I just wanted to bring that discussion.
Beautiful. You can see today's chat with us guys is a little more informal. We didn't really plan. We're just like, we're going to chat about Christmas and holidays and celebrations. And that was more kind of, we just wanted like a pop on, and say thank you to everybody and happy holidays. Thank you for supporting the podcast and sharing it like you've done. Again, you can find it on YouTube under Spiritual Medium Paleki or P-Lou, Podbean under P-Lou. Sorry, I was trying to get us on other podcast platforms. I don't know how to do it. I thought I submitted all the proper forms that I was meant to submit. I haven't heard stuff back. I don't know. So we're going to hopefully help get somebody to help us in the new year. And we are uploading them onto our social media pages too on Facebook. So you can get it either on Lou's Facebook or my Facebook. So there are many ways to see it. But you were mentioning, Lou, that you were thinking of, you maybe wanted to mention to people a nice little ceremony that they could do, or something small that they could do for themselves, sort of as a like a honoring or something.
Well, for me personally, when solstice comes around, it's to try to spend as much time outside with nature. And I'll usually bring my drum out or my shakers out, and I'll just connect with the drum beat or the sound of the shaker, and connect and just connect to the spirit of the land. Wherever you are. Everybody can do that. A person that's in an apartment, if you want to just go walk outside your apartment and just stand still and listen, even if you hear the traffic or you hear, try to find that quiet space within you to connect to the land. And when you connect to your land, to where you are, you're connecting with every single being on this planet, because we're made of this web, right? This web of life. So it's solstice for me is to prepare myself for the winter, and to honor me and honor the animals of the land and the nature and the small people, and because of my shamanic background, and so I connect with every sentient being that's on my piece of land where I live. So drumming is a big thing for me when I do solstice, and of course lighting the candles and smudging and doing, so it's for you to connect to what feels right for you.
Yeah.
I do it my way. P does it his way. Other people do, like get a Yule log ready and et cetera, et cetera. Be you. Don't try not to be anybody else. We share what we do, and maybe something will resonate.
Yes.
With you.
I'll just jump in. Sorry, quickly. I'll jump
Yeah.
in. For anybody who's curious about sort of smudging or rituals and that, one of the podcasts is focused on smudging and rituals, so you can go back and see that one. And it's sort of like an instructional one for you to learn how to do it. Lou showed the smoke smudging. So there are different sort of aspects in the other podcasts. So definitely do go back and watch the previous episodes if you haven't seen them before, because like Lou's saying, like intuitively working with your energy to create your own ceremony is going to be much more symbolic for you because you're putting your intention behind it. If you need one that's sort of mapped out to start with, that's perfectly fine too. Don't think that that's incorrect. But there is a almost like trusting your intuition in that one of going, this is, what's being called for me. And again, if you try something and it doesn't work, don't worry about it. It's not for your practice. Go to something else, shift to something else. But like Lou's saying is, setting that intention is very important. And because I know for you, we've been at your house before, and unfortunately, again, when you're able to get together, because Lou does have her property in Keswick Ridge, and we have done full moon fire pits. We've done solstice fire pits. I remember you and I did that solstice down at the river, where we got attacked by all the mosquitoes. So we were out there for about 10 minutes. So it really depends. Every year, our celebrations tend to evolve into what we need them to be. So for this year, for me, mine's going to be more of like a purging release year again, because I've just been through so much physically and emotionally this year, just with being sick and everything. And so for me, this year is really like a big thank you, universe, for the lesson. Like, let it be where it needs to be now. New energy, new year, new intention kind of thing. More from the perspective that I'm saying, okay, universe, I went to gentle 2021, not I have to get away from all these bad lessons, because again, everything serves a purpose. And so when you're resetting your intention, make sure you honor that the lesson is done. It's no longer necessary. You can release it and move forward, but it's not a bad thing if you don't manifest exactly what you want, if it gives you time to heal and brace and sort of recenter your energies to be able to remanifest later.
Right, exactly. It's for me, it's to find that silence, that peace within me. That's what's been really, really important for me this year. We talked about that in one of our last episodes, that I think we were built to be in a pandemic time because we thrive when we're quiet and we're in silence and everything. Our mind gets more creative and there's more space to be creative, right?
And you know what I'm thinking too this year, maybe it's slightly different just because of how me moving and being sick and everything did work out, and the pandemic and stuff. But Louise and I always make a point actually in the summer to go to the ocean and do our releasing there, so it's not all built up till December, because that's something we weren't able to do this year. And that's another thing, if you do live by a body of water, giving your intention to the water and letting the water take it away is another great way that you can also do a ritual or ceremony. And ocean magic is beautiful magic. You can a wonderful visualization, like river, ocean, wherever it is pick up a stone and picture your intention or whatever it is that you want to release into that year, and then throw it into the water, gift it to the water kind of thing. So there's many rituals you can do, but that is, again, that same thing of that being outside, like Louise is talking about, that finding that moment of silence, focusing your intention onto the rock to get the rock away, sort of thing like that. And I'm thinking, and we should maybe make another trip to the water, because I think I've got a lot of stuff this year that I want to make sure that I'm gifting to 2020, leaving it with 2020, because it's definitely time for a shift.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we're blessed that we're surrounded by water where we live.
We are, because we're on
We
the
have,
Willisuk. We're the St. John River,
yes.
so we're very, very fortunate that
Yeah.
we're have that beautiful body of water right by us. And Louise is right up in Keswick Ridge. She's right up by the dam there, so she's got the head pond up there, that beautiful area where we've
Mm,
been before. So again, it's any sort of ritual that works for you or any practice that works for you. But Lou and I both tend to be similar, that we're water babies, so we're always drawn to the water, or like doing our ceremonies a lot by the water. But
yeah.
any kind of ritual or practice, like, and again, it can be even be something as small as maybe you want to you have a fireplace and you put your Yule log in your fireplace. That's your symbolism. When you put the log on the fire, you're envisioning this. Or you throw a pine cone in, or whatever it happens to be. Maybe do it with pine cones. Your ritual is releasing it, gifting it to the fire, returning the light. There's so many things that you can do that will work for you. It's just actively stepping into the energy of owning that it's your energy and you were able to dictate it, not that you were stuck in it and you don't have the choice to change it if you don't want to.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I think there, Miss Lou, we should let these lovely people go, because I'm sure if you are. Oh, yes. Sorry. Louise has a poem she wants to read by the lovely Mary Oliver.
Yes, it's called Winter Sleep. If I could, I would go down to winter with the drowsy she-bear, crawl with her under the hillside, and lie with her, cradled, like two souls in a patchwork bed. Two old sisters familiar to each other, as cups in a cupboard. We would burrow into the yellow leaves to shut out the sounds of the winter wind. Deep in that place among the roots of sumac, oak, and wintergreen, we would remember the freedoms of summer, and we would begin to breathe together, hesitant as singers in the wings, a shy music, oh, a very soft song, while pines cracked in the snow above, and seeds froze in the ground, and rivers carried a dark roof in their many blue arms. We would sleep and dream. We would wake and tell how we longed for the spirit, how we longed for the spring, Smiles on our faces, limbs around each other. We would turn and turn until we heard our lips in unison, sighing the family name.
Beautiful.
This one's called Winter Sleep. I just wanted to read one of the poems.
It's beautiful. I love her poetry. She's one of my, Getting Up There is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, I just discovered her last year or the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't really attracted to poetry until I heard some of P's poetry. P is a very, very profound poet.
Oh, thanks, Lou.
You're welcome.
It's my hidden secrets.
Don't tell anybody.
Beautiful. But again, that's a perfect example right there. You could even do something as simple as reading a poem as like a prayer. Mm-hmm. If it resonates with you, if it speaks to your soul, if it connects to you, it's something that you could do. And that's what we're really trying to help people understand with these. What we're giving you is stuff that works for us. And again, we've mentioned that multiple times before. It's something that we set the intention, and it works for us. But if something as simple as your prayer for the Yule or your prayer for the solstice or whatever happens to be is something as gentle as reading a poem that speaks to your soul because it verbalizes in a way that works for you, we go, beautiful, use that. Mm-hmm. There's no right or wrong with your spiritual practice. That's one of those big things that we always want to reiterate to people. There's a fantastic way that you can create your own spiritual practice while still honoring those that have come before. And that, again, is what you're basically doing with things like Yule. You're honoring your ancestors. You're honoring those that came before us that celebrated Yule, that celebrated those traditions. And, so I think this is maybe a good place then to step off, Lou, and we'll wish everybody a beautiful holiday. So no matter what you happen to celebrate, whether it is Yule or Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah. Yes, Hanukkah. So all the different ones. So no matter what you happen to celebrate, whether you're religious, non-religious, thank you so much again, my friends, for tuning into the podcast. and for supporting us. If you have been, that is absolutely fantastic. Please do remember to like and share the videos if you get them, just as a way that we can share the teachings with as many people as possible. And no matter what you happen to celebrate, may your holidays be happy, blessed, and filled with love.
And please, and please subscribe also on YouTube.
Yes, please go right ahead and do that too.
Yeah, subscribe, and on Facebook, like and share and all that stuff. So like we've done before, you'll find us. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram.
Yes,
we're easy to find.
We are very easy to find. Both on Facebook, and also one last thing. I know I've just put up my new website. I haven't mentioned that before. It's at paleki.net. PALEKI.net, paleki.net. You can sign up for a mailing list on my on that thing as well. You can sign up for the mailing list on Facebook. I know Lou's got her mailing list. So those are also great ways to keep in touch with our businesses as to what's going on. And I know Lou's working on her webpage. That's going to be up soon, and that'll be a great place to look for resources when Lou's teaching courses, anything like that. So definitely keep a watch in 2021. Lou and I have already discussed it. We are gonna see about trying to do stuff, but it's more gonna be, I know for me personally, a lot of, if I'm gonna teach or anything, it will be virtual this year. I'm not planning on doing a lot of like one-on-one in-person group meetings and that in 2021 yet, just until COVID is more settled, just because I see so many people physically, if I do that it's just sort of too risky. And same with Lou, you know, when we're in small spaces, and a lot of the courses you're like right next to people with them. So it's more just a safety thing and a respect thing for everybody else. But I know Lou has been teaching a lot of her stuff online now, and people are loving it. So definitely check into that if you are maybe interested in either. I believe you're still offering your Reiki as well, and the
Reiki. I'm not offering anything online. I like to teach Reiki in person, but the shamanism courses are the beginners course in shamanism, and some of my advanced courses.
Perfect, fantastic.
That I'm
so everybody keep watch on that then. But definitely it will be on, and we will post links, and the next videos that we get up in January when stuff's up, we'll give you links and everything. But again, this was just a pop on to say hello to everybody, because we've missed you and we haven't seen you in over a month here. And we just both wanted to wish you a happy, blessed, and joyous holiday season.
Yes, happy Christmas.
Take care, my friends. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.